G'day legends, in this video we're going to take a look at an awesome multi-band saturation and clipper plugin called Kraftur. This is made by a company called Sound Theory. This is a great plugin for helping get your mixes a little bit louder, a little bit thicker, a little bit more exciting sounding. So let's jump into it and see what this thing can do. Okay, so this is Kraftur. Let's just quickly go over the parameters. So this is basically our mix triangle over here. We've got our dry signal, and then we've got single band saturation and then multi-band saturation, and we can just blend this to taste. It's pretty cool. And then down here's our drive slider, which gives us our overall saturation. And then we've got our offset and knee parameter, and basically playing with this changes the way that the saturation reacts to the transients. So by having it all the way to the left, it reacts a little bit quicker, maybe a little bit more transparent, and as you pull it over to the right, it starts to affect more signal quicker. So you start to hear the saturation a little bit earlier rather than just on the transient peaks. And then we've got our multi-band sliders down here, low shift, mid shift, and high shift. Playing with these, we can add saturation to different bands, so you can crush those highs, you can saturate the lows, same with the mids. And then up the top here, you can choose the frequency range. So we can pull this down here and we can make sure that we're only affecting 100 Hertz and lower, or we can push this up and make sure that our mid-range goes all the way up to 5,000 Hertz, or we can narrow it down by pulling down. So it gives you a little bit of room to play with where the saturation is happening within each of these bands. Up the top here, we've got a match button, so just gain matches. So we're going to use this a fair bit just so we can really hear what's happening without adding all the extra loudness that comes with adding drive and gain to the signal. And then we've got our bypass button, self-explanatory. And then down the bottom here, we've got a ceiling and a gain. Now we can set the ceiling just by clicking down on this red slider here. So you can see we're changing the ceiling. Just going to hold Option and click and reset it. And then we've also got a gain option here. And basically this is gain before the ceiling and after everything that's happening in here. So that if you want to, you can boost the overall signal harder into the clipper. So there's a clipper at the end of the chain. You can see here we've got our little clip button. So anything that goes over 0 is going to get clipped, and you can turn that off just by clicking on it, but it's kind of part of the effect that we have going on here. So we're going to leave that on. So for this example, I'm going to bring the ceiling down to minus 0.1 just so that we don't go over. Let's have a play around this. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to hit this match button so that we don't get blasted by extra loudness. That saturation sounds pretty nice already. Let's see what it sounds like when we push this all the way over to single.
I don't believe it. I met the circle haze. They said we're just a place for you. You've been the finest company. Every time I misstep, the ground breaks up. Cracks beneath my fade. I tell myself I can do it better. I lie right through my teeth, right through my teeth. Used to look for ways to shut the world down until I felt the wind on my...
So you can hear how the offset and the knee are kind of softening the transients a little bit. So I think if we just pull this back a little bit, we don't want to lose too much of like the punch in, the snappiness of the drums, but a little bit's making them sound pretty nice. So I think somewhere around here should be pretty good.
My skin felt alive in the world.
Sounds pretty nice. Let's go into our multi-band saturation. So let's bring this all the way over and let's play with these shift sliders down here. If we click on low, mid, or high up here, we can solo the band and really listen to what's happening. That sounds pretty cool. Just want to saturate the lows, stay away from those low mids a little bit. Let's check out this mid-range band. actually want to keep this kind of clean here, so I'm not going to saturate that too hard. I might even pull it back into this minus just to kind of clean it up a little bit.
Every time I miss it, the ground breaks up. Cracks beneath.
What about our highs? Sounds kind of cool around there. Adding some cool color to it. It's obviously a little too much on 100%. Let's play with this slider and find that sweet spot. Right in the middle. Sounds pretty cool on this. I'm digging that. Now let's turn match off so we can see how much loudness this is actually adding. That's pretty cool. And I think we're kind of hitting the clipper generously. So let's pull back the gain and see if we can find a nice kind of sweet spot here. I think that sounds pretty awesome. Adding a bit of life and excitement to the track, fitting it up, but also making it a lot louder as well, which is really cool. And then you can also go on to add a limiter after this and really beef up the volume overall. You can hear it's just like gluing everything together really nicely. The drums aren't as pokey anymore. Everything's just coming together in a really pleasing way. And so you could definitely use this in a more subtle way as well. We could push this up to the dry signal. That's still adding some really nice saturation and color to it. We've just like 67% dry and then just a little bit of the single and the multi. So you can definitely use it in a subtle way. It doesn't have to be super dramatic like we're kind of doing early on here. Just a little bit can go a long way with these kind of plugins. Let's test this out on a different style of mix. Okay, so I've got a different mix here. I'm just going to quickly dial something in on Kraftur and just show you how quick it is to get a good result. Sounds pretty cool. Let's listen to it matched. Just giving it a little bit of attitude, a little bit of excitement, just making it sound better. So easy to dial in a sound, and I love that mix slider smack bang in the middle between dry, single, and multi. That's just like the magic sweet spot. So cool. Now let's try this out on just the drums, because I feel like this plugin is going to sound good on drums. Going to put match mode on because I don't want any additional loudness. I just want to play with the sound here. See if we can like shave off some transients, but also add a bit of flavor to it. Whew, that sounds good. That's a great sound. You could just use that and blend it in. Love that. Let's see what we can do with the multi-bands. Loving that. A little bit of that's cool. Loving that crispy top end that's adding. That's a really cool sound that I'm getting right there. And now we can blend this in. That sounds awesome on drums, particularly like this kind of like program beat really makes it sound very tasty. So I think this thing just sounds really nice on the mix bus, on some drums. I could imagine it on different instruments. You could get some really cool saturated bass lines, maybe like some gritty vocals. It could sound great on a whole bunch of stuff. So there you go, guys. That's Kraftur. It's an amazing multi-band saturator and clipper. Just a really easy way of adding some flavor to your tracks, but also getting them nice and loud as well. So if you think this looks cool and you want to try it out for yourself, there will be a link in the description below to Sound Theory's website. You can jump over there, download the plugin, and you can do a 2-week free trial period. See if you like it, and if you do, then you can grab a copy. And at the moment, there's an introductory price on it, so it's a good time to grab it before it goes full price. But definitely try it out, see what you think, and if you like it, grab a copy. If you guys enjoy the content on this channel and you want to show your support, you can become a YouTube member. There'll be a link in the description below to where you can check that out and see what it's all about. And another great way that you can support this channel is by heading over to my website, checking out my range of drum samples and mixing courses. Grabbing any of those really helps support the time that goes into making content. If you're keen to stick around for another video, then check out this next one coming up where I'll take you through how I like to approach mixing MIDI drums.